This is not normal, right? This person probably has a lot of problems, and I can't believe that people are making this a trend.
A troubling trend on TikTok that could leave some teens believing they have a serious mental disorder.
Just by looking at some of the recent TikTok trends, and you'll see just how toxic this app can really be.
Yes, TikTok trends. Some can be pretty funny, others can be straight up dangerous. The worst ones are the trends that seem harmless but are quietly messing with your mental health. We'll break down specific trends, starting with strange ones, and work our way to the ones doing the most damage. Alright guys, so it is almost the end of the year, and my goal is still the same. Increase the number of videos we put out without sacrificing quality. And it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I will do my very best to make this goal a reality for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The homeless man photo. The AI homeless man prank went viral in mid-2025. I mean, when I saw this myself, I thought it was pretty funny, but we can't ignore that it caused psychological damage for some. Here's how it worked. Teenagers took photos of their bedrooms or living rooms. Then they used AI to edit the images, making it look like a stranger was inside their home.
Have you seen this trend? I find it very disturbing. I actually reacted to this with Christina on our couples channel. This is not something you play around with. First of all, I think it's a problem if you are actually scanning your room or taking a picture of your room and sending it to an AI app or sending it to an app to where they can see what your whole setup looks like. You don't know where your information is going. That's one problem. But then if you haven't seen this, you'll see how much of a problem it really is, especially when you're trying to prank people with this. Keep that in mind.
Home, but not just any stranger, a homeless man. The results looked disturbingly real. Once the edits were ready, the prankster sent the images to their parents.
And then sending it to a family member, leading them to think someone broke into their home.
What followed was panic. Parents thought the photo was real. Some were scared, others were mad, and a lot of them called 911.
Exactly.
Here's one TikToker showing cops.
See, and this is what I mean. Like, this is bad. If you don't know how people take certain pranks. So if you call a family member and they're far away from you, one of the first things they're going to do is they actually probably will call the police. And then you send units, they send units there, they spend resources and time when they can be helping someone else, they're wasting it on you. Like, sure, it may be funny for a laugh and stuff like that, but how far are you willing to really go just to get a laugh? This is not funny. I don't think it's funny.
Leave their house after pranking their mom, saying the homeless man was asking for money.
That was the entire concept. Scare your parents with a fake AI intruder, film their reaction, and post it online. TikTok loved it. Soon the hashtag homeless man prank reached 124 million views. Every new post tried to push the limits. They made the homeless intruder more threatening and more realistic. Soon it went beyond parents. TikTokers pranked their spouses or roommates. And as usual, they filmed the reactions.
Why would you let somebody into the house? Even if somebody come to the house and say, oh, they are my friend or something, you attend to them outside the house.
Some even created elaborate
Sure, it's funny to see the person's reaction, but what if they really freak out? Like, what if they are trying to rush home? I talked about this with Christina. What if they're trying to rush home and get to you, and then they're putting themselves in danger and other people in danger just because of your prank? Sometimes getting a laugh should have limits, right? The limits you're willing to go to should be limited. This is not funny. I would be freaked out if someone pulled this out on me. That's not funny at all. And I can see why certain people would call the police. What are you supposed to do? I think you should start getting in trouble if you actually pull these types of pranks to a certain extent. What do you think? Do you think I'm going too far? Do you think I have a point? Or do you think this prank is just not worth it at the end of the day? Let me know what you think. I really want to know.
Stories about why they let the homeless man in. They were just trying to get a more interesting reaction.
Who is at the house?
I felt really bad because this guy knocked on the door and he looked like he was in need of help, really wanted water, so I let him come in for a little bit.
But as the video spread, experts began warning about an invisible danger. This trend didn't just scare people for a few seconds. It obviously caused a serious mental distress. I mean, just imagine yourself in the situation. When someone believes an intruder has entered their home, they panic. Some people experienced full-blown panic attacks before realizing the image wasn't real. But for the sake of YouTube, we can't show those extreme reactions, but they are on TikTok. For older adults, like most...
That's what I mean, especially if someone is older. Like, what is it really worth it just for a laugh? You got to put other people first. And I feel like we're in such a narcissistic society. We have people that are willing to do whatever they want to do, regardless of what other people want. Speaking of that, if you are tired of main character syndrome, just like me, I actually have a video that I actually reacted to. And we go over the same thing where we talk about people who only care about themselves and think everyone else is just a plot, or excuse me, they think everyone else is just a prop in their story. We talk about that. I'll link the video in the description. I might even link it on the end screen, but if you find that interesting, you're going to like that video as well.
Parents in these videos, extreme stress can trigger heart problems, but the harshest warning came from law enforcement. Police called the prank stupid and potentially dangerous.
It is. Let's just say you do respond and you have a weapon. Somebody can get serious. Your own personal family member can be seriously injured.
Even with all the warnings, the trend didn't stop, so the police took action. In October 2025, Ohio police arrested 2 teenagers for faking home invasions with the AI homeless photo. In both cases, police were called to the home only to realize it was a joke. The sheriff's office made it clear. This behavior is not a prank, it's a crime. And AI seems to be trying to stop this homeless man prank too. When NBC reporters asked ChatGPT to generate an image of a homeless man in my home, it refused to. ChatGPT replied, I can't create or edit an image like that. It would involve depicting a real or implied person in a situation of homelessness. If AI tools keep blocking these kinds of requests, this trend might disappear soon. But the psychological harm it causes to homeowners won't disappear so easily. This next trend turned no sleeping into something people should aspire to do. The toxic productivity trend. Toxic productivity is the idea that you must be productive at all times. It's about not letting a minute of your day be wasted. And TikTok is full of videos pushing that message. Okay, so let me be clear. I am all for productivity. I believe that in order to achieve something great, you gotta work really hard and really smart. Being productive is a great thing, but toxic productivity is something else. People push themselves to unhealthy extremes in order to accomplish more, often at the expense of their health. And you do not want to sacrifice health. But TikTok's algorithm kept feeding the productivity obsession. Soon people were being shown endless videos with extreme productivity hacks. TikTokers giving productivity advice probably mean well. The problem starts when viewers take those routines and push them too far. The perfect example is the sleep is for the weak mindset. These videos show people staying up all night to work, bragging about not.
All right, let's just address this because there are some pros and cons. Like sometimes when you want to achieve something and it's a big deal, sometimes you do have to work overtime. But you also have to know when to stop yourself, right? What are your limits? When do you actually say, hold on. This may not be great for me long term, right? Because if you are putting your physical health in jeopardy just to hit a goal, it happens sometimes, but you can't overdo it. And sometimes what works for some may not work for others. I wish people gave disclaimers a lot more when they're talking about what they do. I think it can be very harmful to some, obviously. And yes, you should remain productive, but every second of the day, you want to make sure you are productive, but not to that level. That's way too extreme.
Not needing rest. Losing sleep becomes a badge of honor. And it gets worse. There's a trend called 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5. You'll see people trying to finish a full list of tasks before 9 a.m. By the time their actual job begins at 9, they're already exhausted. Last but not least, the that girl trend. The hashtag amassed over 1.6 billion views. The trend encouraged women to become hyper-productive girl bosses. I mean, it sounds respectable, but there's one major problem. Most people can't sustain that kind of schedule without burning out. Eventually, creators started speaking out. They made videos and blogs rejecting toxic productivity. One writer put it this way: when you push yourself too hard for too long, it's easy to start measuring your self-worth by how much you can get done. You start to feel guilty for wasting time on activities you used to enjoy. And I'm guilty of this too. Spending time with friends feels like falling behind. Even sleeping starts to feel like a waste of time. And the result? Burnout. Burnout isn't just feeling tired, it's a complete physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. Many who tried the that girl lifestyle reported feeling exhausted, unhappy, and overwhelmed with guilt.
And you know, this ultimately portrays the bigger issue, which is being a follower. Today's society, we have a lot of people who just follow other people. Sometimes you've got to set your own tone and set the the boundaries on what's okay to copy and what's not. Everybody just wants to copy trends all the time. This is why all these social media sites are thriving so much, and they're thriving off of people who are lacking the ability to say, you know what? I'm not comparing myself. I'm not about to do what other people are doing just because everyone says you were supposed to do that. Are you that type of person? I'm definitely not. Let me know if you're that type of person, because I think that can be the downfall and why a lot of these people end up struggling and unhappy because they're ultimately comparing themselves. What do you think? Let me know.
More creators join the conversation calling for change.
Issue is more around this kind of societal acceptance we have of prioritizing productivity, prioritizing self-care in a way that's actually kind of destructive.
To make things worse, many of these perfect productivity videos aren't even real. They're staged to look impressive.
People who post these very aspirational versions of themselves online and then expect us to believe that that's who they are.
Again, I believe that hard and smart work is the key to success, but real productivity requires balance. You work hard, then you rest. You give your best, then you recover. And fun fact, the best ideas come when you're not working. This next trend made exploding with anger look normal. Crashing out. For a long time, crash out meant going to sleep very quickly because you were exhausted. But in early 2024, TikTok gave it an entirely different meaning.
Crashing out is when you lose all self-control with no care in the world about any of the consequences to follow.
For those of you who don't know, simply put, it means becoming suddenly uncontrollably angry or distressed.
In other words, you may know it as what Karens do. I'm just saying. Also, I have another video talking about Karens and stuff like that, so check that out too. Because Karens are they set the bar on crashing out. If you ever want to see a crash out, just watch Karens. I do. Not too many though, because you can ruin your brain cells.
On TikTok, this wasn't just slang. It was a trend that made young people think violent outbursts were okay. In 2024, videos with the hashtag crashing out spread across TikTok. They encouraged reckless behavior. The message was simple: stop holding it together, lose control. This trend took off. Soon, TikTok was filled with videos of people screaming, having emotional outbursts, or acting erratic. People recorded themselves breaking down over work, school, or relationships. They were crashing out.
And this is one thing I just don't understand it. Can you help me with this? Why do people choose to record themselves so much going through certain things? Like, they actually view it like a diary. They view social media like a diary. Some things some people just shouldn't know. Like, I don't think it's worth recording it. Like, we need more people-to-people contact, right? We need more people talking with each other and getting outside and involving themselves with people who are productive or people who are encouraging in regards to understanding yourself, talking about your problems, all that type of stuff. We need more people to basically care. I feel like we're losing track of that.
For views. Within months, the hashtag crossed 1 billion views. This trend was horrible for mental health, teaching people that it's okay to act like this. Therapists said the trend made people absorb the idea that emotional crashing is a valid coping strategy. In other words, it rewired how people handled stress. Instead of learning self-control, people were performing their meltdowns for an audience. Despite the warnings, the trend only got more popular. The more dramatic the meltdown, the more engagement it got. The crashing out trend even had its own anthem. It was a viral sound called "Let It Burn." The lyrics told listeners to burn it all to the ground. And that's exactly what many did. Crashing out videos showed people making impulsive and destructive decisions. They quit their jobs without notice, ended friendships, and lashed out at family. Each crash out brought only a temporary wave of relief, attention, and
he just said it right there. That's the main word. That's the main key word right there. Attention. Everybody has become such attention seekers, and social media has only amplified it. Social media rewards some of the worst behaviors you can come across, literally. Something's got to be done to a certain extent, because all they're doing is just profiting off people and their misfortunes. It's really sad.
Validation, but it also left behind real consequences. Broken relationships, lost opportunities, and lasting regret. It's normal to feel frustrated, but crashing out is not the solution. When you're faced with a problem, use your brain, not your heart. Up next is a trend that left thousands of people living in constant fear. The Kia challenge.
I haven't heard of this.
In July 2022, a TikToker filmed themselves hot wiring a car. The trick only
Why?
worked for Kia and Hyundai models, but it was shockingly simple. Filming a crime was reckless enough, but what came next was far worse. People were inspired to do the same. A group of young boys saw the clip and decided to try it. They filmed themselves hot wiring cars and driving off. They even gave themselves a nickname.
You film yourself committing a crime. This is what I'm saying. Especially the younger people. They are willing to be, pardon my language, but just plain stupid. I'm going to say it nicely. They are willing to be plain stupid if it gets them views, not thinking about the ramifications afterwards. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get acceptance from people, validation from people. And what is the validation? Validation.
Huh?
What am I saying? I tend to do this. I don't know why. But what is the validation? It is likes, comments, retweets, shares. Oh, it's just, oh my God, this is so disturbing, man.
They're called the TikTok Kia Boys. Teens like these four stealing cars and using them to commit violent crime.
Soon, other young people joined in. TikTok was flooded with stolen car videos.
They're saying it is called the Kia Challenge. It's targeting cars, leading to more thefts.
The hashtag got millions of views. But the damage wasn't just the stolen cars. It was what it did to people's minds. Kia and Hyundai owners were living with constant anxiety. Every morning began with the same question: will my car be next? People checked their driveways multiple times a day. Some had trouble sleeping at night. Others said they could.
And let me guess. The younger kids are just laughing about it, right? Well, you see how many views we got on this one? I feel like society is letting down our youth. Or I can't just blame, society, because when people are younger, they tend to do stupid stuff anyway. But the fact that people are so willing to record themselves doing something so stupid that can get them in trouble. I'm just baffled by it. I don't understand how this could be. Like, how can this, who says they're going to commit a crime and then film themselves committing the crime? So even if they did have a case against them, they're going to just say, I don't know what they're going to say, actually. I don't know. Who thinks it's smart to just film yourself committing a crime? You have proof and evidence that you did it. It's very, very disturbing. Very disturbing.
Focus at work because they kept thinking about their car. Psychologists have a name for this: hypervigilance. It's when the brain stays on high alert, scanning for danger that might not even exist, and it's mentally draining. That kind of fear changes people. They change their routines, avoid certain places, they stop feeling safe even at home. But the mental stress was worse for those whose cars were actually stolen. Researchers studied the psychological impact of car theft. One woman whose car was stolen said, "I have PTSD now. I wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes crying with nervousness." The news coverage made things worse. Tens of thousands of Kias and Hyundais were stolen. Some had their cars stolen twice in one day.
A woman in Highland Park found out the hard way recently, just a few days ago in broad daylight. Her 2017 Hyundai was stolen where it was parked outside her second job.
Each new story reminded people that they could be next.
It's super.
Twice in one day? This is triggering me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting triggered on this. This is just loser stuff. Who has time to be this much of a loser? Oh my goodness.
Super frustrating, it sounds like. Now I have to be careful where I park and pay attention, and it's going to change where we'll probably take my wife's car.
Some considered even selling their cars because of the constant paranoia. The police began cracking down on the crimes.
Locally, Arlington police say they've made several arrests and stress auto theft in Texas is a felony, which many young people might not realize.
Under heavy pressure.
No, because they're young and most likely dumb. Like, what they're not thinking about is, what if you do that to the wrong person and they come out armed and they end it for you? It's not like they're gonna be able to regret it because they, you know what I mean? We're not wishing anybody to do any harm to anyone, but you have to think about that when you're dealing with these kind of situations. This is just not smart. It's just not smart. I feel like we got a lot of kids raising kids nowadays, so they don't, this didn't used to happen when I was a kid. Like, this stuff was, people weren't as much of followers back then. Now it's like it seems like it's the only thing people do.